For what? Brittany, he come sit right here. He come sit right here. He good. Ezra, how you spell I S E Z R A
Seay, Ezra Say.
A Seay. Inside linebacker, right? What he at? What happened? What his stats was? You know him.
Had a really good,
They call his name all
really
night.
good region play.
My friends are no right.
Seneca Hampton, where you at, boss?
We live, man.
Yep.
Let's get it. All right. Where we at? All right. Welcome to episode 12 of the Big Game Breakdown, live from Knuckleheads in downtown Ocean Springs. I'm your host, Seneca Hampton, joined as always by the man himself, head coach of Ocean Spring Greyhounds, Coach Jake Bramlett. Before we dive into this week's show, we want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Knuckleheads, for hosting us and supporting high school football on the Gulf Coast. If you're in town and you're looking for a steak as big as your back, make sure you stop by Knucklehead for some of the best vibes, foods, and drinks you'll find anywhere. What's up, Coach?
Oh, man, just glad to be here another week. Glad to still be playing football. And, it's hard to get to this point in the season.
Right.
It's hard for anybody to be playing football right now, and that's something that we're taking a lot of pride in. And these guys that are sitting behind or in front of us over here took a lot of pride in this week, being one of the few teams that are still able to practice football right now.
Right.
And now we're getting some good football weather late November. So excited, man, ready for tomorrow.
That's right, Coach. Tonight, we're breaking it all down for the fans. We got our player spotlight featuring defensive end and sack leader B.J. Oshma and junior. He's a junior.
No, Ezra's senior.
He's a senior and
Yes.
senior inside linebacker Ezra Say.
Yep.
Later, we'll hear from our. That's it. We ain't got no coaching spotlight, none of that.
No,
but
just
first,
players this time.
that's players. That's it. But let's talk about last week big time win. Let's get into that. Let's talk about it. The Greyhounds took care of business at home. First round playoffs against a foe that they played in the regular season. Y'all took care of business. It was a hard-fought game. Y'all earned that victory, clearing. So let's recap last week's thrilling 24-17 round one victory over Northwest Rankin.
Yeah, man. So coming back off of playing them week 3, you lose in overtime on a 2-point conversion play, and talk about it all week. One, it being a playoff game, win or go home, and then also, a little bit of a revenge tour, redemption tour, whatever you want to call it. Coming back off the slow start to the season, getting into playoffs and playing some of the same teams you scheduled non-region. And, the guys had the best week of practice they had all year, just stacked up 3 really good days, Monday through Wednesday. Came out, first quarter was a scoreless first quarter, and it was going back and forth. They probably one of the better run defenses we played this year. They're really, really good at stopping the run. Their head coach is a defensive guy. They got a really good defense coordinator in Philip Poole too, and their plan was to stop Sherrod, and if somebody else could beat them, that's what it was going to take. They were going to stop the quarterback run, and did a phenomenal job doing it. We tried a few different things to get Sherrod going in the first quarter. They were there. They were making tackles. They were doing some good stuff, and took us a little while to kind of get things moving, and went in and scored in the second quarter, and went up 7-0 with about 4 minutes left in the half, and felt really good about that. They go down, they put a really good drive together, and go down and score as well right there before the half's over, and it's 7-7, and come back out and ran a very safe, comfortable run play. Picked up a 12, 14-yard gain on it, and thought it was an opportunity to maybe get the ball out to the perimeter, see if we get one more big play and get down there in field goal range for a half. And linebacker made a great play, man. He gets up, tips the ball to himself, intercepts it. Defense does a phenomenal job on a 25-yard field of holding them out of the end zone. They kick a field goal, go up 10-7 at half, and you go into halftime, and the guys a little bit down because you were just up 7-0, and within about 2 minutes you're down 10-7. And we talked about halftime. No matter what the outcome is, the winner of this ball game is scoring more than 3 points in the second half.
Right.
Come out and opening drive, they get the ball. Peyton does a great job kicking the end zone. I think he was 4 or 5 on touchbacks against them, and they throw a ball behind the line of scrimmage, backwards pass. Corner is very aware of what's going on, picks it up, takes it in. You start the half on the first play defensively, going back up 14-10 and putting yourself in a great situation. Then defense does a great job the rest of the half holding them out. Offense puts another 10 points on the board, and you separate 24-10. And they scored another one late, and had an opportunity at the end. And defense created 3 turnovers on the final drive, and we're only awarded one of them. Is just that's high school football. Sometimes the call's not going to go your way, but the final one's the one that mattered, and Connor did a great job getting over the top as well as the rest of the defense of a team that hadn't done the swinging gate at all throughout the year. They've done it in the past, and we made sure we repped it one time during Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember which day it was, and they see it, line up to it perfectly. Everybody's spread out. Connor knows he's supposed to be over top of number 2. He finds number 2, gets over top of him late, and intercepts the ball. And that was your game. And hard-fought game on both sides, man. Northwest did a great job as well. They prepared phenomenally for our offense. Our defense played a great game. Will Smith had a big-time game, and we were talking about them planning to stop Sherrod in the run game. Well,
when you Will.
When you do that, it's hard to stop both of them. They're a dynamic duo back there, and you've seen throughout since Sherrod's been in the backfield, it's really opened things up for Will too. And both of them have had great. It's just been a great rushing attack for us. Just a good 1-2 punch, and then mix a few other guys in there when we need to. And I think Will had 19 carries for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just big-time football, and we need that late in the playoffs. You need a running back that can tote the load. Yep. If you have a running back getting 179, 200 yards a game in the playoffs, you're more than likely coming out on top.
Hey, shout out to Will Smith, and also he committed this week to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College.
Yes, he did. That's gonna be a phenomenal choice for him, and that's
a steal because he's a D1 kid coming out of high school, in my opinion.
But it'll do nothing but good things for him if he ends up there. They put out Division I athletes every year, and the majority of their start lineup ends up playing somewhere else, and most of them a lot of big-time football. So good place for him to go get his name out, prove himself at the next level, and Gulf Coast does a great job offensively. He'll fit right in with them.
Most definitely. You had a lot of players that stood out in that last game, and your seniors they showed up tough. Like you said, you had Will Smith with the 19 carries for 179 yards and 2 tutties. You had the leader in the state in sacks right now, and B.J. Osman, who we'll have on the show later on today. B.J. is having a phenomenal season, man. The defense really showed up, led by him, who added 3 more sacks to his incredible season already of bringing him to a total of 18 on the year. Am I correct?
That's right.
All right, so, plus he recorded 6 tackles, and 3 tackles for loss. Coach, what can you say about this impact, not just in the game but all season long? He's been playing high volume football all year.
And I talked to a bunch of people about him week in and week out. College coaches calling and asking about him and everything else, and I knew he was a good player. Based off his sophomore and junior season. His sophomore year, he played a lot of tight end. His junior year, he plays defensive line, and then this year, we were counting on him to be an anchor for us, and he got hurt in January. Responded very well. Was ready to go in mid-July off the Achilles tear, but you just didn't know. How Achilles tears are, and I know medicine's come a long way in the last decade. But historically, whenever I was in high school and college, I was just about a career ender.
Right.
And so you just don't know how he's going to be. And he comes out, and during practice, we can't block him, and we're hoping that we're just not that bad up front offensively. And man, nobody's been able to block him all year. And like you just read his stats, it was 6 tackles, 3 TFLs, and 3 sacks. So hit 6 tackles behind the line of scrimmage at the defensive end position, and probably could have had a couple more. And that just the way people have to prepare for him impacts the entire game, because you see when we're playing Gulfport, there's a left tackle who's probably their second best offensive lineman, a tight end, and a running back all trying to block him whenever they're throwing the football. And you can kind of start figuring out, all right, if they're setting all these guys to the same side, then we got a pretty good idea they're going to throw a football right here, and they're going to triple team BJ. And then one that opens up other people to get into the backfield, he still gets into the backfield, and then you kind of get a beat on what they're trying to do. And then, when they slide the tight end to the other side, they're probably trying to run the ball away from him. Yeah. So you start figuring those type of things out, the way people have to game plan for him, because if you don't do that, then he's going to be in the backfield all night. He's going to be terrorizing your quarterback. And
he took one out, didn't he?
Yeah, he took their first-string quarterback out right before the end of the first half, and he – it's a 240-pound, 6'3" kid landing on top of you.
Coming full speed. I'm talking about the man was. I'm talking about the impact of the hits. Like, I'm standing right there on the sideline. I'm listening to him, and then, like you said, he got his own little celebration. He's pumping that 1-5 out, man. I love it, man. The kid's marketable. He's a brand. Like, he got the looks. He's got everything, man. Like, he's a Power 5 kid, in my opinion.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, and that's what a lot of these junior colleges are trying to steal him right now. Or they're presenting him with that as the fact that he is an FBS type of player, or whatever they call it now. And you can go anywhere now with the transfer portal and use it as a JUCO, but they're pumping. This is what our D linemen are doing, leaving here, and what they're getting, and everything else. But he's such an intelligent kid. He's such a mature kid that he's going to do what's best for BJ and what's best for BJ's family. And that's one of the more impressive things about him, is his character and his maturity and how he handles those situations. And listening to him talk to adults, I try to sit in on most of the meetings with the players and the coaches, just to make sure nobody's pressured into anything, or trying to get somebody to say something they don't really feel like talking about right now. So I never have to say a word. I can kick my feet up and get on my cell phone while he's talking to him. It's like two grown adults talking.
He's very mature for his age. He's ahead of his time. You can tell he done been here before.
Yeah,
as the old folks say.
And, I mean, just the impact he has on games. I mean, you're a football guy. You know what a sack does to an offense during the middle of a series, no matter if you're rolling or not. When somebody gets hold of your quarterback 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage, most of the time it's a drive killer.
Yeah, man, I seen his celebration about 3 times. I'm talking about he was killing. When you see that, just know he wrecking havoc, man.
Yes,
I'm like House now. We turning up the volume. I had fun. I ain't gonna lie, I had fun with y'all, man. Friday night, it's a vibe.
It was a good time, man. That the stadium showed out. Probably a few too many people on the turf, but it's something you got to deal with in the playoffs. And last time we played Oak Grove at home, it was crazy. You go back and look on film, and if there was 5,000 people in the stands, there's 2,500 of them on the turf down there. We were trying to negate that a little bit this week, but it got a little out of hand that time. But it is a great atmosphere, and that's part of being in Ocean Springs, and that's part of what the Pep brings to the table as far as playing there in the playoffs is that type of atmosphere, and our kids feed off of it. They like people surrounding the field. I mean, that's a feeling that most high school kids don't get, especially in big stadiums at the 6 and 7A level. You play a lot of games in empty stadiums, not empty, but the atmosphere isn't there, the feel isn't there, the noise isn't there. Well, that's one thing you don't have to worry about here. It's going to be loud. There's going to be people there. You're going to be surrounded by familiar faces, and then obviously a bunch of college coaches standing around too. So it brings a lot to the party.
It felt like a college atmosphere out there. I ain't gonna lie, man. It really did. You had another senior player that stood out this weekend, and Lucas Sinopoli.
Yeah.
He had himself a game as well with 6 tackles, 6 pass breakups, not to mention that huge fumble recovery. Yeah. He returned for a touchdown. That play seemed to energize the entire team.
Yeah.
How important was that moment in shifting the momentum?
The last time we played them, Bryson opened up the second half with a kickoff return for a touchdown, and then Lucas opens up the second half with a fumble return for a touchdown, and it was the right thing at the right moment, because at halftime, like I said, they kind of went in a little bit long-faced, but they were composed, and then you talk them back up at halftime. They come out with some energy, and but the right thing happened.
Right.
The thing that the team needed to see, and defense standing up again and making something happen on their own. And where playing a really good defense and offense had some struggles and had 2 turnovers in the first half. Well, they created one themselves and then put it in the end zone by themselves. And that's a huge thing in high school. I mean, you flip something, somebody thinks they're going to get a chance to separate a lead coming out of halftime, and in the first play you flip that and get 7 points for your own team, and that's a big swing, man. And it's something that you can't mimic that feeling on the sideline.
Right.
You can't create that without a turnover like that happening and a big thing happening.
Most definitely. And your new leader in the secondary, man, Connor White, man. Connor is balling back there. I don't know where this – well, he said it's always been in him. But we get to see it now because he's always been a quarterback, having to maintain his composure. But now we get turned up, Connor.
Yeah.
And, we can forget – we can't forget it. All right, so Connor had 6 tackles, 3 pass breakups, and a clutch interception to seal the win at the end. Connor has been stepping up in big moments like this all season. So, what tell us something good about old Connor, man.
One, he starts out the season at quarterback and did a good job at quarterback.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lack of being capable of making it happen. It was just missing a few receivers here and there. Will not be able to get going in the run game. Some drops, some different things happened, and it was just a little bit of case of the yips as far as a little bit of inaccuracy. And we can run the ball really well, and you had a guy that could just catch the snap, and you can do some more things in the run game that open it up. So he goes. Sherrod goes in at quarterback. You get in a region play, and Connor texts me. He was out against D'Iberville, and texts me the following Sunday while we're meeting, and we just got done our coordinators meeting before everybody else got there of talking about Connor and things that we could do with Connor, whether it be special teams, mix in on offense, the possibility of defense. And I get a text from him, I don't know if his ears were burning or what, but he said, Coach, just want to help the team. Whatever I can do to help, please let me know. I'm not opposed to anything you have to offer. And asked him, I was like, will you hit somebody? And he said, yeah, I'll hit him. I was like, well, Coach Carmody wants to look at you at defensive back this week and just, start learning it, get your feel for it and everything else. And goes in there, and within a day, Coach Carmody came to me and he said, he gets it. He understands it. There, he still has to learn a lot, but it's not something that's over his head or over his athletic capacity or anything else. He's like, I can work with this.
Yeah.
And goes into the Biloxi week, and he wasn't starting, but we knew he was going to play at some point. And he gets in the game, makes a huge impact hit against Biloxi, and that was something that we had not seen out of him either. Playing the quarterback position, like you said, a lot more composed. You didn't really see that dog come out of him yet, and goes out there and makes that hit. You can see a little fire in his eyes when it happens.
Noise,
and he had another big hit that game. Then comes into the next week and goes against Gulfport. Has 2 huge pass breakups, a couple big hits, a forced fumble. And things just kind of start taking off from there, and
start getting them offers out there.
We talked with the defense coach a little bit after Biloxi, and they were a little bit down. Like there's one tackle in the alley, just kind of didn't break down, just kind of went in there swinging with his arm, and I was like, Coach, he's been a quarterback his whole life. Like it's we got to work some elementary tackling drills with him because he hadn't done it. I mean, and I tell some of these JUCO guys that's giving him offers since then is like the upside is huge because they're like, he's never played. I'm like, no, he's played quarterback his entire life.
Ever since Pee-wee.
Learning how to tackle, learning how to hit, learning how to play on the other end of the game, and he's just a great job. He's in the right place at the right time. He's been a big-time playmaker. He brings a spark to the defense that an already good defense that wasn't quite there beforehand. It's just another hitter like Aiden in the backfield that people got to think about whenever they're running across the middle, and you're starting to see not as many people running the crossing routes and the slants and everything else. Well, there's a reason for it.
Right. Yeah, and he was making them play.
Yeah.
Aiden was too.
Yep.
But
and then Northwest game, I mean, obviously the big play at the end, we talked about it a little bit. It's just a clutch game-sealing thing. That the quarterback mind of him is what took him to over there. He did, a formation they hadn't seen outside of a little bit of practice here and there, just making sure they line up to the swinging gate. And he finds number 2, gets over top of him late, goes up, big 6'2" frame, gets a pick that somebody else who may have been there that's not 6'2" is physically incapable of making. So that's a big play by him, and obviously, it won us the ball game.
Yeah. All right, it was a complete team effort, no doubt about it. Both sides of the ball delivered when it mattered most, and it's clear this team has the heart to keep pushing through the playoffs. Coach, I guess it's time to go and check out the coach teleprompter, man, and show us some of the let's break down this Northwest game.
Yeah, man. We're going to start out. You'll see at the bottom of the screen the scoreboard is right there at the end of the first quarter. Like I said, a very tough fought first half, and got them backed up right here. Come out on punt return, and we talked about Ian last week against St. Martin having some big punt returns. Well, we had him back there with Bryson this week, had both of them deep. Punter's pretty dang good. He can kind of push it where he wants to. Well, a pretty good idea whenever Bryson's back there that Ian's probably going to be getting the ball. People will try and keep it away from Bryson on any type of kick return. He does a great job right here, and not the only time in this game where they kicked it short and low and got a big hop, and he, just no fear, gets in front of it, very sure-handed, handles the ball, keeps it from going another 20, 30 yards downfield, and then makes a big return out of it too and shows off his ability to run.
He can find them creases so easily, man.
Finds creases, picks up 35 yards right there on a punt return, and you saw his other punt return last week. He had like 16, 17 yards on that punt return, so he's starting to fill that position out, and going to be a really good addition going into next year, knowing that he's comfortable back there catching punts. Defensively, big-time run stop right here. You see, this is Ezra Say up top, and then BJ down here, and just kind of collapsing the box right here. Ezra's an inside linebacker that walks down a good bit and plays this position for us, kind of just getting us to an even front. BJ collapses down his side, spills the guard. Ezra comes off the back end. Big tackle for loss when they're already backed up back here, puts them in a 3rd and long situation.
Ezra plays some ball, but
yeah, he does. He does. This is Will right here. Didn't block this play up correctly. What's supposed to happen is Hayden flying in, number 10. Anytime you get a blitz, he's supposed to pick this up, and then Jaden will stick on the defensive end, and you'll have both guards getting out. Didn't block it perfect. Jaden does a good job getting a kick right here.
Don't say that's
a different play, but it's fine to show a bad one every now and again. Well, that's what we messed up on. Ran this play twice. One of them was a big gainer, and then this one did this. But yeah, I mean, that's part of it, and part of what they're really good at is they'd seen this on film. This backer comes down. He's supposed to abort mission, come off. Jaden's supposed to take here and then get 2 guards pulling. Well, when everything doesn't work out perfectly on offense, that's what happens. Jaden tries to make up for it, but, it's a little past point at that. Then the following play, this is a 3rd down. And this is just a straight-up 4 verticals play. You get a 6-man protection up front. You see Sherrod step up. I mean, obviously you've seen it all year. He's looking over some really big guys right here. You got Bryson. He split in the middle of the field. It was just a trip snub look with the tight end to this side. Kind of puts them in a bad situation as far as their linebackers and safeties go. Sherrod steps up, and then he's able to see Bryson when the seeds part a little bit and puts a great throw on him. How this wasn't called a touchdown, I don't know.
Hey, look, the photographer from the news, he was right there.
Yeah.
He caught the pit. He caught it when his knee hit the ground. Yeah. So I was going to contest it with you, but he was down at the one.
He was. Well, good for them. They got a call right that night.
He was down at the one.
You see kind of what they're doing defensively. Their best players just sitting here in front of Sherrod. Yep. They're not going to let him get out of there and do anything. And even thinking he can jump up and knock the pass down from 8 yards deep. Big play right there, score on the following play, go up.
Chop played smart ball this game. He didn't turn it over. He let his athlete, the players around him, do their thing.
Yep. One turnover on the night and one spilled drink.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about. We tried to get a drive going right there late in the first half and turn it over with an interception that the linebacker made a great play on. They get down here, and defense is holding them out, man. They're doing everything they can to keep them out of the end zone and just making big plays like this and shoving it up at the line right there. They put their biggest guy back there, big inside linebacker, to run the ball, and you got 3 people meet him at the line of scrimmage. Just good stuff in the defensive run game. This is first play of the second half. Lateral pass goes backwards. Lucas is fighting to get off the block. You see him up top right here.
Heads up play, bro.
Yeah, he sees it immediately. Guy's trying to get a block on him, but he gets loose of him, picks up the ball before it goes out of bounds, and makes a great play with it. Just heads up play. Great awareness by him. Great coaching by our defensive staff, making those guys aware of that. Following drive they have. This is just Connor just making that impact. You see, receiver kind of short arms it. They're throwing a slant into 2 high safeties. That's it's a dangerous move anyway, especially when you got somebody back there who's wanting to hit somebody.
Yeah, quarterback set them up for failure.
Yeah, you see the receiver short arm it right there. Connor's coming downhill, makes a great play with the legal hit. Just making sure his presence is felt. All right, this is a big time throw by Sherrod. We needed points on this drive. We were in a plus situation. It was 2nd and 5. Had a penalty, a holding penalty to get us backed up to 3rd and 12, and he didn't throw the ball a lot this game. Offensive line does a great job with the sprint out protection. Nolan pushes it to the sticks right there, and Chop just drills one in his chest, and he makes sure he gets a foot down. Great route by Nolan, great ball by Sherrod, and great protection by the O-line, giving him the ability to sprint out like that. That was a big play. Really needed that at that point in time. Sherrod making another play with his feet right here. This is just power plus. I mean, it's straight up 2-back power with the quarterback. And does a great job finding a hole, keeping his feet moving, pick up another 2nd long right here. And then pretty sure this is Will. Yep. Get in. We're up 17-10, and Will told me that Power's been looking really good his first play of the drive. Give it to him, and it looked just as good as he was talking about.
It did.
A big-time run by Will. Really needed that right there. Separated the game, put you up 14 points late in the game right before the 4th quarter began. Just big-time play. Another good run by Will. This same play, just back on the other side. Present a little different look to it. A lot of times when Will's on the same side as tight end, it's either a quarterback run or counter the other way, showing power to the same side. Another big-time run. Would like him not to let the ground cause a fumble right here. I mean, he was down, but still, just don't put that in officials' hands. You make sure we're taking care of it. Really wanted to highlight Blaze Nettles right here. This is number 32. Connor came in for him during the Biloxi game. Hasn't gotten a whole lot of playing time since then. We have a linebacker go down. Brody went down for a couple series, and he's just headsy enough that he can go out there and he can play a linebacker position that he hasn't played much in his life. Goes out there, makes a huge play right
Off
here.
The first play. I think that was his first play.
Oh, he was just getting settled in that spot right there. Just kind of read it out. Coach Carmody sent him on the pressure. He collapsed the pocket or collapsed the line of scrimmage, and that's just a great play by a kid that understands everything that we do defensively, and he's been a program kid. He's been around since he's been in 9th grade. Worked with Coach Trosclair for the last 4 years, and understands everything everybody's doing on defense. The situation right here, they're going down trying to tie the game up with 18 seconds left. They still have a timeout left, so not everybody's thinking run right here, but luckily our defensive staff was aware enough to know that they still had timeout. The run was a possibility, and having these linebackers keyed up on it. Sorry, this is the next play, but oh no, I wanted to show y'all this one. That's what it was. This was a fumble.
Oh, yeah.
this was one of the 3 turnovers that were not given to us whenever.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So, obviously, quarterback takes snap, goes to throw, ball goes straight backwards. We recover, ball game. They give the ball back to him, say it's an incomplete pass, stop the clock, and, it's what it is.
It was confusing.
But,
waste of our time.
Yeah. Come back out 2 plays later. You'll see everybody getting lined up. Jacoby comes to take care of the quarterback. Got 3 down linemen over 4. Got numbers here. Everybody's matched up. Well, our minus numbers in the box because we're not worried about quarterback run. Connor gets over the top. He sees 2 late. Gets set. Guy throws an immediate fade up to him. And the reason this pick was so big was because of the time left on the clock and the fact that they would have been able to run one more play. It was 3rd and goal. When he picks the ball, there's still 4.6 seconds left.
Yeah.
So it keeps him from being able to run one more play. He intercepts the ball right there, and it's a ball game.
Went straight to the student section.
Went straight to the student section. And, that was it.
Yeah.
That was a ball game. Like you said, all-around team effort. A lot of good. Still some things to work on, some things that need to be fixed, but you'll see you're going to see different game plans every week from here on out. You're playing really good football teams. There's only 7, 8 teams left, so everybody's good in the playoffs. Everybody just gets a little bit better when you get down to 8.
Yeah, that was live right there. I ain't gonna lie, to be a part of that and experience that was real fun.
Yeah.
Coach, last week win was huge, but we both know there's no time to get comfortable in the playoffs.
No.
It's one game at a time, and the focus is already shifted to this week's matchup against Oak Grove. We'll break that down later in the show, but coming up next, we got our player spotlight featuring the man who's been a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks all season long, B.J. Osmer, and we're going to be joined by Israel Say.
Yep.
So stick around, folks. The big game breakdown is just getting started live from Knuckleheads in downtown Ocean Springs. Stay tuned, and shout out again to Knuckleheads for hosting us. We'll be right back.
Yep.
Seneca Hampton, where you at, boss? Seneca Hampton, where you at, boss?
Hold on. Yeah. We good. We can go and go. What up? And we are back, ain't we? We have right now senior inside linebacker Ezra Say. What's up, man?
What's
Bro,
up?
you had a game this past week.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. What was going through your mind in this week in this game? Boy, I'm killing them fries right there, bro.
Last week, it was a big game, but it didn't really, get to my head because we still had to play and stuff. So
Right. So, with last week, was it an unreal? Was that your first playoff game?
starting, yeah.
Like that was an unreal moment, man.
Yeah.
And then to play big like that,
Yeah.
like. What was the moment that you took away from that you're gonna always be like, yeah, I remember that. I'm gonna always remember that.
It was like the last. It was the second to last play when I came down to hit him. That play will probably stick with me forever.
Right. You played a big role in helping the team secure the win. Walk us through the atmosphere on the field during the game, and what was the energy like?
The atmosphere, it's not really tight because we're all loose and having fun and stuff. But when it's a tight game like that, it's we all come together and as a team have fun, but do your hardest out there.
Right.
You know?
Oh, definitely. Your perspective, what did you see out there from Northwest Rankin's defense, and how did you guys adjust and make plays when it mattered most?
They like to pass way more than other teams that we played and stuff, and just like reading like the back and the receivers and the pulling guards and stuff like that is pretty.
We know the playoffs are all about rising to the occasion.
Yes, sir.
What's been the key to your personal preparation, and how do you keep yourself locked in mentally and physically for games like this?
Just watching film.
Yeah. You a film junkie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just visualizing the plays before it happens and stuff, and just making sure that you execute when you're given the chance.
You've been a true leader on and off the field this season. How did you help keep your teammates motivated during the games all season long? Was it tough?
Yeah, for sure. Just telling them to like stick with it, down or up, whatever. We gotta keep playing.
Looking ahead to this week, it's a big rematch against Oak Grove. What's the mindset in the locker room? How was practice this week? What did you think what did you do to think it'll take for this team to get the win on the road at home this week to move on to South State next week?
It was a get back type like mindset because we lost to them, but that was a good game, and I think we fixed all the problems that we had last game, and I think it's going to be a pretty good game.
Yeah. Israel, you've been incredible for the Greyhounds all season. Coach said you're a program guy. You've been here since the 9th grade. You done bought in, so you're all in.
Yep.
You know, any message you will want to send to the fans before we wrap your interview up?
To believe. To believe.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hey, Ezra say, everybody. Thanks for joining us, Ezra, and good luck this week against Oak Grove. Stick around, folks. We got more big game breakdown coming up next. We got the sack leader himself, B.J. Oshmer, coming up, man. Are you you ready for the game?
Yes, sir. I'm locked in.
Clocked in, man. Let's get it, man. Round 2, let's get to South State. This is Ezra Say, Greyhound linebacker, and you can see him this Friday at the Pep. Make sure y'all pop out there and come check him out. Appreciate you for coming on the show, Ezra.
No problem.
All right, we're going to take a quick little small.
Seneca Hampton, where you at, boss?
Hey, all right, y'all. We are back on the big game breakdown, and joining us now is the man of the hour, senior defensive end B.J. Oshmer, the state sack leader with incredible number of 18 sacks on the season. B.J., thanks for being here, man. How does it feel to be such a dominant force on the field right now this season, man?
Man, it's a blessing. You know, it's something I prayed for a while, and it comes with a lot of work and dedication and just grit and grind. So I'm just blessed.
Right. I get it, you know. Last week against Northwest Rankin, you had another standout performance with 6 tackles, 3 for a loss, and 3 sacks. What was your mindset heading into that game, knowing what was on the line in the playoffs?
Man, my mindset going into it was I didn't want it to be my last game. And I just wanted to, leave my mark on the field, just doing something that, hasn't really been done before, just doing things, out of the ordinary.
Right. As the leader of the defensive unit, what's been the key to keeping this group locked in all season? How do you help set the tone for the defense week in and week out?
Just making sure everybody stays together, not taking any opponent lightly, and making sure that everybody's on the same page, knowing what they have to do, and everybody doing their job and being collective.
Right. We talk a lot about your ability to get to the quarterback, but it takes more than just skill. It's also about preparation. Can you walk us through your film study, your workouts, or anything you do to stay at the top of your game?
Man, I go through a lot of film. I try to start watching film a little early, on Saturday night or Sunday morning, and just kind of seeing who I'm going against, what the team usually does, their tendencies, and things that they like to do. So that's really about it.
The defense stepped up big last week, holding Northwood ranked to 17 points and forcing key turnovers. What does it mean to you to see your teammates stepping up and making plays in crucial moments?
It means a lot. We're returning just one starter on defense. We're replacing 10 guys. So, just seeing that they can step in and play a big role and, stop a lot of people that really thought that they was going to be able to run all over us it's nice.
Right. Now looking ahead to this week, it's a huge rematch against Oak Grove.
Oh, yeah.
What do you remember from the first matchup early in the season, and what's the game plan for redemption this time around?
I just remember they thought they was going to come out and run the ball a little bit, and they didn't really have a lot of success doing that, so they tried to throw it. But I feel like they're going to try to key off on us, in the back end. But I feel like our corners and our DBs have been preparing really well, so we're going to have a lot for them.
Most definitely. This could be your last home game as a Greyhound.
Oh, yeah.
How special is it to have this opportunity to play in front of the home crowd one more time, and what's your message to the fans?
It's a blessing to be able to play in front of them. I feel like we have a great environment at the Pep, and I feel like our community rallies around us a lot. So, and my message for the Greyhound community is just keep showing up, keep showing out, and just being there for us, and we're gonna bring it home.
Most definitely. BJ, you've been an absolute beast all season, and we're expecting big things again this week. Thanks for stopping by, and good luck on the season around, man.
I appreciate you. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Folks, that was BJ Osmer, an anchor for the Greyhounds defense. Stick around. Up next, we're talking with Coach Bramlett to end the things about how to take care of Oak Grove in the second round showdown, and you're watching the Big Game Breakdown live from Knuckleheads in downtown Ocean Springs.
Seneca Hampton, where you at, boss? Seneca Hampton, where you at, boss?
Yep.
All right. What was it? Old Grove, right?
Yep.
All right.
Mike.
Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. I had them French fries on my mind. All right, let's dive deep into the upcoming matchup against Oak Grove this week. First, let's recap the Week 2 loss to Oak Grove back in, Week 2?
Yeah, Week 2.
35-21. What's changed since then?
I mean, a lot. You find your identity as a football team. Defense just gets better and better each week. Connor started that game at quarterback. Sherrod comes in the third series. We start finding some success running the football with him, and it was kind of a plan B as far as game plan goes, and things just really weren't working out the first couple series. And then you obviously you start building on that throughout the season, and it's developed a lot since Week 2. It's instead of just straight up quarterback run, now he reads most everything, and then the O-line kind of knows what's going on behind them. It's not more or less just getting up there and hammering your head against the wall. It's you got a rhyme and a reason to why you're running things, and That's the bulk of it. I mean, you grow as a team, you learn your identity, your defense continues to get better, and they're stacking experience throughout the season. And you go from a week 2 with 9 to 10 new starters on defense to now your entire defense has a full season under their belt. I mean, they're now they're veterans, they're experienced. They've played 11 ball games, and it makes all the difference in the world. And then same for them on their side too. Sophomore quarterback, that was his second game, and now he's got 11 or 12 games under his belt, and you're playing that battle of who's learned their identity the most, who's going to be able to put together a game plan to come out on top this week, because they're very talented, they're very big, but we're very talented and very big too. So it's a battle of wheels, if you will. Their defense being a load the box, cover zero type of defense, not going to change for anybody, don't care who you are. And then our offense being kind of a 12 personnel offense, we're going to run the ball at you. We don't care who you are. So you're going to see that. And then offensively, they're a little bit different. They're going to spread you out. They're going to throw the ball downfield. They're going to test you vertically. And our defense has done a phenomenal job at handling that this year. And then you add, like we talked about, a new player in the back end that really helps negate some of those things. So it should be a really good game, man. A game that since 2021 has been played. I think this will be the 4th or 5th time. So a lot of familiar faces, a lot of experience with each other. Coaching staff has a lot of experience with each other, and it's kind of becoming a playoff rivalry type of game. Plus, then now you got them on the schedule for your in-season non-region too. So you're kind of getting a little bit of a rivalry feel with a team from another region right now.
Most definitely, man. Like I say, it's starting to become like that right. You expect it now.
Yeah.
In playoffs come 7A.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I saw somebody's write-up the other day that said that they were like 13-2 in round 2 games, but I think both of those losses come to Ocean Springs, maybe just one of them. But they're a very, very good team in the playoffs. They're a team that's been there. They've done that since about 2011, 2012. My first year coaching was in 2013, and they beat us in South State. And since then, they've just kind of made it known that they're really good in the playoffs. They win a lot more than they lose in the playoffs, and you see that at the end. They're popping up in South States every year. They're popping up in state championships every other year. It's just they're a good football team and knows how to put it together at the end.
Right. What's some key players to watch on both sides of the ball?
Defensively, they got number 95, Andrew Maddox. Make sure that's the right one. That's the younger one, yeah.
That's the brother of
the quarterback was Anthony Maddox. He's the one that's at Ole Miss right now. Andrew, he's been starting since his sophomore year. He was on that team that came down and played us in 2022 with Bray and them. And, he's started every game for the last 3 years for him. He's a big kid. He's very athletic. He comes from a good gene pool. His dad played in the NFL, and he probably will at some point in his lifetime. And then they got another young nose guard, number 44, who's built a lot like him. He still has some sophomore times, but for the most part, whenever he comes off the ball, he's a handful. And then offensively, the quarterback is going to be a really, really good player. He's a sophomore. He's long. He has all the tools. He's got a cannon for an arm. Yeah. He extends plays. Against Biloxi, he had I can't remember, 3rd or 4th and goal from the 5-yard line. And by the 12 seconds later, he is on the 35-yard line running around from people and makes a throw to the corner end zone for a touchdown. I mean, it's just one of those type of kids who knows how to make things happen. A great running back, number 7, Kylan Champagne. We played all these guys in 2022 outside the quarterback, and they're just really solid players that have a lot of games under their belt, and you're going to see a lot of good things. I think they had 2 transfers in from Columbia. The wide receiver, number 9, I can't remember his name, and then the inside linebacker, 16, coming from a a state championship 4A team transferring into Oak Grove and then making noise as soon as they get there.
They're getting richer.
Yeah, rich kid richer, man. But it's part of the game now, and that's it's something that's probably you're going to see more of year in, year out now. Just different rules coming up with transfer type of rules. So you're going to
until they do.
Yeah, it's the trickle down effect from college, and you're gonna see it more. But like you said, rich get richer, add new players, and I think they even picked up a kid from Harrison Central. I may be mistaken them with Hattiesburg, but
Hattiesburg did.
Yeah, but they got a locker room full of really good players, and always year in, year out, going to be one of the more talented teams in the state.
Most definitely, they stay with it.
Yep.
What's the strategies to avenge the loss and advance to South State next week?
Strategy-wise, it is what it is. I mean, you've developed your identity, and you better expose their weaknesses and expel your strengths, or the game's not going to go your way anyway. So you kind of know what it's going to look like here and there. But as far as the mentality of it, you're up 21-14 at the end of the third quarter against them, week 2 of the season, and you still felt like you left 2 or 3 touchdowns out there. They did a great job making a comeback and being very opportunistic and a couple of scoring opportunities. But you felt like you let one get away, and a game that probably the majority of the state had counted you out of. You had them on the ropes, and you felt like you were about to put them away, and just a couple bad things happened that they kept you from doing that. And it's another opportunity for redemption. It's another opportunity to say, yes, this is the team that we are. We can play with these guys. We can beat these guys any given Friday. And that's something these kids. I'm very proud of them for living with a chip on their shoulder about things that happen that you sit there and preach. You got to put that stuff behind you and move forward. You got to put it behind you and move forward. But then there's a time to pull it from the back of your head and be like, remember this. Right. Remember this feeling. And, we talked about it after the Oak Grove game. We were up there. I'm like, remember it. And it's something that I learned from my uncle who coached at Macomb. It was I was 10, 11, 12 years old, but I was always on the sideline with them. And they play South Pike every year in region play, and then they'd match back up in South State every single year, and one of those teams was going to the state championship every single year. It was just with Macomb South Pike, and every time they lost to them in the regular season, they beat them in South State. Yeah. But I'd always hear him say after the game, remember what it feels like to watch them walk off the field knowing they got the better of you or thinking they got the better of you, and it's coming back.
Yeah.
It's coming back, and it'll be very soon. You're going to see them again, and that was the same talk that we had after the Oak Grove game of it may not be very soon because this is week 2, but it's coming back.
Yeah.
And remember what it felt like watching them get away from you when you felt like you had them.
Yeah.
And you got to keep that. You got to keep that memory somewhere stored in there to when that time arises. Hey, it's here now. Now is my chance to get my get back.
Yeah. It was get back. That's all you heard in the student section. Woo!
Yeah.
I ain't
they get
gonna
a
say
little
the
rowdy
rest.
up there.
Yeah, they do, man. They turn. They is turn. To close the show out, what final thoughts and and what's a message you want to send to the fans to get them ready and riled up for the Pep this week? We got the possibility of having 2 more home games this week and next week.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's huge, and that's part of winning our region this year, and part of one of our goals was to set ourselves up in that situation. It was just one of those years where if you come out the 1 seed, you get to be at home until you're not.
Yeah.
And that, as far as getting pumped up and amped up, man, come to the Pep. I don't have to say anything to you. The stadium's going to do it for itself. But that's like I tell these kids, and the appreciation of being able to practice this week. Like, guys, there's 24, 25 teams now in 7A, and there's 8 of you still practicing, and that's it. And you're the only ones south of Hattiesburg still practicing. I mean, everybody else is cleaning their locker rooms up. Yeah, getting on the basketball court, going to baseball practice, soccer practice, getting in the weight room, whatever else. You get to still practice, and that's something this community should be proud of, that these guys have put themselves in a situation to be right there with the Blue Bloods of Mississippi and still practicing in late November and working towards getting to practice in Thanksgiving, because like I told these guys after practice today, you're one step away from that Thanksgiving break being full of morning practices, and that's what high school football is all about. You live for those Thanksgiving weeks where you're still practicing and nobody else is, and those South State or North State championship games that no matter who it is or what you're doing, anything can happen. Once you get to that point, you just got to get there, and then the gold ball, the thing that everybody's chasing is the week after that. So for these guys to be in this situation at this point, when they were counted out a lot after the early season and finishing the way they did and figure out their identity the way they have, very proud of them for doing it. And this community is a big part of that. They've done a lot for us this offseason, but come out and support these guys if you can be there. Like we talk about always, the osgreyhounds.live is a great thing to utilize if you can't be there, but if you can, come on. Right. We're going to be there. It's going to be great football weather. You're going to get something around 50 degrees, and that is not too cold. I know it's
perfect.
I know there's a lot of my guys on staff that are from the coast, and they've lived on the coast the majority of their lives, and they're like 50 degrees ain't happening, brother. And
Collins texted me talking about, hey, I need to order some hand warmers from you. I'm like, for what? He's like, man, my punter might be over there and his hands get cold. I'm like, man. I said, Coach ordered 2 of them before the season started. They floating around the field.
Yeah, man, 50 degrees is just right for November football weather, and we're looking forward to it. And, our kids are going to embrace it and get out there and play some smash mouth football, and it's going to be a really good product on the field, a really good high school, well-coached, well-played, well-executed game to come watch.
Most definitely. All right, folks, that wraps up this week's episode of the Big Game Breakdown, live from Knuckleheads in downtown Ocean Springs. Big shout-out to them for being our amazing sponsor.
Yep.
We covered the big win over the Northwest ranking. We heard from standout players like BJ and Ezra Say, and got a preview of the huge rematch against Oak Grove this Friday. The stakes are high, and we know the Greyhounds are ready to bring the fight. To all the fans, y'all have been incredible all season long, and we need you louder than ever this Friday night. Pack the stands, wear your blue, and let's make Hugh Pepper Stadium electric. Thanks again to Coach Bramlett, BJ, and Israel, and everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another breakdown. Until then, I'm Seneca Hampton reminding you it's always a great day to be a Greyhound. Stay safe and go Hounds.